Welcome back to the Steel City Sportscast. As we move from NCAA football, we're got our eyes on the Olympics. They're just around the corner. I believe the arena will be ready. What kind of condition it's going to be in, who knows? But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about our picks for Team Canada. So Team Canada already announced they're starting their initial 6. We decided to give our next 10. We're going to go with Chase first. I want to preface this by saying that Chase plays out, but he was a goalie first, and he still plays goalie from time to time. So that could explain a lot with his team. So lay it on us, Chaser.
Well, technically, I started as a forward and then went to goalie, and then now I'm just on a bit of hiatus.
Yeah.
But yes, this does explain a lot of why my team is, or the 10 that I picked is the way it is. I'm going to start from more the defensive side. We're at the hot Devon Toews and Matthew Schaefer. I think these two are almost a no-brainer at this point. Toews, main reason, he's not going to put up a lot of points. He's not going to wow you in the offensive zone. He has the ability to be an offensive defenseman, but you want him there with Cale Makar because he allows Cale to be Cale. Makar can play with anyone and still be as dominant, but the ability to have that calming factor, and Reader's going to love me saying this, it's like Don Sweeney and Ray Bourque. Bourque could be the way that he could be because Don Sweeney was right beside him.
What about Avalanche? What about Avalanche, Ray Bourque?
Oh, that was Rob Blake.
There you go.
Those two locked down. Same with Devon Toews and Cale Makar. When I move into the rookie sensation with the 21 points in 30 games, Matthew Schaefer, Hamilton kid.
Yeah.
Very proud of him so far. To me, this is no brainer. You bring him as your 7th or 8th defenseman. Get him the experience now because he's going to be a staple to this team for years forward. If it's world championships, if they do more Four Nations, the next Olympics, you're going to want him and Cale together. Those two being able to run both of the power plays and then you be able to flip them in and out is going to give you so much versatility. It's wild. We move to the forwards. I got Celebrini, Bedard, Suzuki, Hyman, and Jason Robertson. I think Bedard and Celebrini, they're kind of like a common pick. A lot of people are saying they're young, they're fast. The way that they both have elevated their game this year to be top players in the league right now has been lights out. Their ability to win draws, they're getting a lot stronger there. You can flex them in and out to the wings, and they can play with, like if you put even like Celebrini with a Crosby and a McKinnon, that lineup just becomes so fast, and then you have the ability to put Crosby in there to kind of settle everything down. It's wild. Hyman, to me, is a no-brainer for just that size presence. Front of the net, get the puck down deep, let him get it out, and then rotate forward for the power play. Suzuki, he has become one of the best 200-foot centers in the league over the last few years. He's been an Ironman as well. In the 6 years he's been in the league, I believe it is now, he hasn't missed a game, and he doesn't change the way he plays. He doesn't have to. He is solid from his own end on the draws. He can get the puck to the net and score. He can be a great setup man. He would fit perfectly with what they're looking for. And Jason Robertson, this kid has become one of the most dynamic and one of your most offensive threats in the league, especially for the Stars. If it's power play, if it is 5-on-5, his release is phenomenal. His speed, his vision, his IQ going down the ice is just nuts. Those are no-brainers.
I just gotta jump in there. Unless you know something that we don't, I'm pretty sure Jason Robertson's passport is U.S.
Yes, it is.
I think he grew up and played in Canada, but I think he was born. He might have dual.
He is an American.
Okay.
He's an American,
Yes,
eh?
he is American. I was waiting. I was going to wait till the end to say this. Brennan jumped in early.
You guys called me on that because I thought he was Canadian all like through and through.
The family
played
moved
here.
Yeah, the family moved to the GTA to play. So him and his brother both played here.
Yeah, because he grew up in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and they moved here.
But you know what? There's a lot of dual citizens out there, and I don't know if he's ever declared for a program.
Man, that's a bad look for me. I'm glad though. Like I'm glad to throw a hot one out there and just get everyone going.
Yeah,
that is awful.
It's the Brett Hull situation, just in reverse.
Right?
Yeah, you want. Yeah, I'm trying to will him to get dual citizenship.
There you go.
Apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
He might have it. He might have it. You might be.
I don't think he
You
is.
might be galaxy brain in this beyond everybody else.
He might, but you know what? That's just a bad look. But
Because Chaser, I don't think he's on the American team. So
No.
if he has dual, he's available.
well, I'll make a phone call. See if we can get him to
There
get
we go.
citizenship just in time.
There you go.
Well, we're gonna go to goalies here.
There you go.
This is my strong suit. Let's go right to something like that I know I'm gonna hammer home here. A lot of people are gonna laugh at me or maybe disagree on this side of things. I have Wedgwood, Blackwood, and Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson for me, I'd be taking just because he's very athletic, great positioning, and the one thing I do like about him is he's a southpaw. He's full right. So when shooters are coming down and when they're expecting to shoot glove side, they're actually going towards his blocker side.
Mm-hmm.
So it throws off the shooters' minds, and just the way that he's been able to elevate his game from going from Vegas and then going to Washington and having Bruce Cassidy and a bunch of other coaches saying, "Oh no, I wouldn't want him on my team. He's tough to coach." I don't know. He's looked really good with the Capitals. I'm not hearing anything bad about him on that front.
Oh.
And then they're homer picks, but you can't deny the fact that right now the lumber yard in Blackwood and Wedgwood is the best 1-2 in the league. And I get it. When you go into a term like this, you're not necessarily rotating goalies back and forth. But this gives you the ability, if you need to rotate them, you can. Or you let one run wild and then you have that insurance piece right behind them. Because both Wedgwood and Blackwood right now are having so much fun. You can see it after post-game interviews when they're high-fiving each other. They got the goalie hugs going. They just know how to push each other. And then it's not in a bad way. That they're just making sure that each of them are playing at their top. To me, that's your three goals that you got to run with.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Trav, you're on deck.
Oh, you're going to go with me now?
Yeah.
All right. So I had the same thing, Devin Taves. So next, I kind of put Thomas Harley in there. So he did really well in the Four Nations. He really stepped up. That's one guy that I had, even though he hasn't put up the points this year that he has in the past. 18 games, only 10 points. But you're looking for guys that can really make or break a game. And again, he's one of those guys that stood out in the Four Nations, and I'd be bringing him back in a heartbeat. Young player. Funny enough, dual citizen. He was born in the States, but has Canadian citizenship, so he's played for us. So reverse on that one.
Maybe he's in Jason Robertson's ear.
There you go. Yeah, maybe.
Hey.
Yeah, let's get this done.
Let's get it going.
Exactly. You're going to make it happen before that. Somehow we're going to have a special, passport ceremony, and Jason Robertson's going to become Canadian. But so that's who I had. Same thing all the way down. Sam Bennett, you need a really I was between him and Wilson from Washington. Mm-hmm. And you need somebody, especially if you're going to probably go up against the States in the finals, to be able to battle against the Tkachuk brothers. And I think you need somebody to send out there, whether it's him, Bennett, or Wilson, that you send out there and go, okay, you know what? They're going to try and run all over the place. They're going to try and do whatever they can to stir up stuff. You got to be able to just say, you know what? Here you go. Go over the boards and settle these guys down. They're proven winners, right? Again, Sam Bennett, he's just won 2 back-to-back cups, made it to the finals 3 years in a row. So they know what they're doing. Mitch Marner, creative guy beyond belief. You need guys that are going to set up, your top players, especially on the power play. So that's who I brought. Was he great as a Leaf? Did he really perform as a Leaf? No, but when you get to playing for Team Canada, it's a different story for everybody, right? Just because you play bad for your team doesn't mean you're playing bad for anywhere else. And then Josh Morrissey I have as well, another really stellar defenseman, probably one of the top defensemen in the league. And I don't know how you can keep him off again. Just like I think it was him that went down and Thomas Harley stepped up for him last time in the Four Nations. Like you put those two together, you're talking great offensive, puck moving defenseman. And then Logan Thompson, they left him off the Four Nations. As a Habs fan, I don't think Montembeault should have been there. He just literally was a seat filler, and you can see why they're as of this we're recording, they just lost to Tampa, and he went in for Dobish and first goal. Like it's pretty bad, but that's who I'd be taking as probably the top goaltender.
All right. I did not put any goalies on mine. There's obviously going to be goalies there. We can talk about them after, but for my 10, I'm going to go down, and I put together lines like in my head. I know it's not going to show up on the screen that way. I got to preface this by saying I believe in a short tournament, chemistry is key. So how I would build the team. This is not how I think the team will end up. This is how I would build the team. I'm on the Hyman train. I think McDavid and Hyman are a pair. It's your Crosby Kunitz from 2010 is your this year McDavid Hyman, and I got on their wing Bedard. I don't know how you can deny this guy, and I've heard a lot of projections that have him as the extra skater, get the experience. This guy's tearing it up, and you got him on a line with McDavid and Hyman. Yeah, he'll be okay. He's not going to get caved in. My next line, I got Celebrini. Okay, so I got Celebrini with, here's my chemistry group, Crosby and McKinnon. They're best friends. Crosby and Celebrini developed a real tight relationship last year at the World Championships, right? Like they had good chemistry on the ice. And again, okay, so you got the young kid sheltered by probably two of the four best players in the league, right? So I think that's a safe spot for him. My third line, I have Marchand and Bennett is your chemistry there. They play together. And I've got them protecting an old friend of mine, Mitch Marner. He does best when he has space. And with those two guys in the ice, he's going to have some space. And those two guys just got to go to the net, and he'll get them the puck. Then my third line, I got Reinhart with point centering Reinhart and Seth Jarvis. I think Seth Jarvis didn't have the greatest Four Nations Cup or Four Nations Challenge, but I think this guy is going to be a major part of the Canadian national program going forward. So I think he has to be there. The rest of my 10 in chemistry going, I got Taze to play with Makar. When you have the best defenseman in the world, you want him to be comfortable to be able to do it. And he got sick last time. He missed 2 games, I think, in the Four Nations. So I got him. I have Theodore back. Who knows what it would have been? He broke his wrist. And then my last pick for the 10, I got Drew Doughty. He's Mr. Team Canada blue line. He might not be as fleet of foot as he once was. And I know that this is going to be a really fast tournament, but he can handle himself. And with Doughty and Marchand, you got vibes, guys. In these short tournaments, I would weigh heavily on chemistry and vibes. And I know that sounds silly and but like that vibes is a thing. It's a tangible thing. So that's how I have my 10. Now I could tell you guys my goalies just I feel like they're Binnington's having a terrible year, but I think he's there. The Doug Armstrong connection, and he didn't even have a great Four Nations. He had a great final. You know what I mean? So I think he starts the tournament. I think Thompson is the best goalie that Canada has to offer. Singly, and then I got Wedgwood in there as well. If it were me, I would rank them Thompson, Wedgwood, and then Binnington would be my third. But that's not how it's going to go, and I know that.
That's the biggest concern I have for
Totally.
the team is probably the goaltending.
Totally.
And I don't want it to turn into, I think it was 2010 when they started Brodeur in net. And it was, well, we got to go to the veteran that's got us there before. And it hurt, like they did get lucky. Again, Brodeur did not play well. And then Luongo came in and played unbelievable. And I think you can't have that again. Again, I don't know, Chase, if you agree, but I wouldn't be bringing Binnington. Like he had a really good run. They went off of experience in the Four Nations that, he's won at the top levels. Yep. That he's won the Stanley Cup. He's one of our better goaltenders. But he had a shaky Four Nations Cup. And, again, I don't want to go in. You don't want to go into a tournament and already be down one game at the start because you put in a goalie because you feel like he has a service there, or, that veteran contract of, here you go, this is your time. I don't want that. I want the best goalie in net at the time. Put him in.
Oh, I fully agree. I'd be keeping Binnington at home. Like, his attitude alone, like, if he gets like, one thing that's always upset me when watching him is, as a goalie, you get bumped, you get hit, you get poked. It's part of the game. The fact that he can't let that just roll off his shoulder, and especially when you're in an international tournament where there's going to be a lot of traffic in front of the net, especially on a smaller ice surface now too, he's going to lose his mind. And like, you could see it start coming in those games that he started getting shaky in the Four Nations, where his movement, it looks off. He starts to fight rebounds, and then he's too busy trying to push people out of the crease. You can't have that. You need goalies that are going to stay more cool, more calm. And I don't know what he's like in the dressing room. I haven't necessarily heard bad things about what he's like in the room or whatever. But there's sometimes where even now, like, since they're in the same conference with the Avs, I see them about 4 times a year.
Yeah.
If he's having a bad game, it almost looks like the team doesn't even want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's just being too much of a crybaby about it. And you don't need that around there. And his Jekyll and Hyde act from the NHL to the World Championships to Four Nations, as you point out, Chuck, you can't have that game one. You need to come out strong, where as much as, like, I'm a homer, I want both Avs goalies there. Right now, I would start Logan Thompson myself, just because he's looked more solid consistently. But at this point, you put one of Thompson, Blackwood, Wedgwood, you can even put Montembeault, Darcy, Kemper behind this defense. Yeah. They have that ability to just stay a little bit more level-headed. They would be more beneficial to have in that spot. The story that always comes back to me, that why I would never take Binnington anywhere, was in the Stanley Cup playoffs when the Avs were trying to beat that curse of the second round. Kadri gets tripped into him, hurts his knee. I get it. It's a crappy situation. Every goalie would be upset in general. But if anything, I would be more upset at my defenseman for pushing the guy into me. And Reed said it before in one of the episodes. I've yelled at him for pushing people on top of me. I have lost my mind when someone else has done it. You don't go to you don't walk by the press conference room, see Kadri, and throw a water bottle at him, empty or full. You don't do that. That is just a bad attitude and bad way to look at it. And then for me, I don't think he's that good of a goalie in general. There's too many weak links. It's his movement laterally, his positioning can sometimes be just atrocious. Granted, I know he's in the NHL, he's making millions. I'm sitting here doing a podcast about him.
Yeah,
but it's that view of being able to watch it from like 10,000 feet in the air. You get to see it in a different way. And right now, he is not the goalie you need to take to this tournament. And you have 4 other great options to go with. Let's get fresh blood in there. Let's start something new.
That's it. Absolutely.
So, what makes me nervous is Hockey Canada has a history of leaning on experience and we owe this guy. Right? Like, we owe him another shot, or we owe him. He's earned with past play the opportunity. And I love that you brought up 2010. Brodeur started that tournament. Luongo was the better goalie. And it got to Luongo, and Luongo won the team. Well, was in net when they won the gold medal. In 2002, Brodeur was the better goalie, but they started Cujo because they felt they owed it to Cujo. Pat Quinn was the coach. He was Cujo's coach in Toronto, and Cujo played poorly, and he got pulled. And from what I understand, and Cujo's one of the nicest guys from what I hear, he was really mad, and that was part of the reason that he was okay walking away from the Leafs on his next contract. So you're trying to win a gold medal, and I know they say, oh, we're back at the Olympics and we're back for a long time. Okay, so in our lifetime, we saw what, 98, 02, 06, 02, and then a gap. The NHL doesn't want to be there. So it's no guarantee that they're going to be there all the time. So you got to put what your best opportunity to win right now is. And there's another podcast I listened to, and they brought up a really good point. People are like debating third goalies and stuff. If you get to your third goalie, you got an issue in a tournament like this. That guy's not intended to dress. He's right. So
even if you get to your backup, you got to be a little bit worried here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why they never got to Fleury in 2010?
2010, yeah.
2010 and even 2014, Fleury was still like,
yeah.
You don't, great goalies, but you don't want to use them.
And it's funny, we say all this, and all those years that I mentioned, 02, 10, 14, they won, but it never started out right. And I think you have to start out strong. You don't want to be playing from behind. And
14 they didn't. 14 was the year that they had Price.
It was Carey Price. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I think that.
Yeah,
I think they had like 4 goals all tournament allowed. That was it. Like it was.
And I don't even want to talk about 06. I you know what? I hate that Olympics so much. I couldn't even tell you who the goalies were. It was probably Brodeur, but the goaltending wasn't the problem at that tournament. They brought fossils.
So mismanaged.
They brought fossils, and
that was the Gretzky one, wasn't it?
That was his last one.
Yeah. No, Gretzky. Yeah, Gretzky was like behind the bench, like or running it.
Yeah. Gretzky ran 02. He ran 02 and that one. Yeah. And then he handed off the reins to Yzerman, and so this is the first Olympics that Yzerman's not at the helm. I mean, Canada's got enough good players. You could put 2 teams. You know what I mean? Like, and I know we're not talking USA. The United States has a phenomenal team. And if we could touch on it on a
if they bring the right players.
Yes. So we could touch on it and we will touch on it on future episode closer to the Olympics, because then we'll know the rosters and we'll be able to talk. But overall, my personal opinion, if I was building a roster, that 06 team didn't have a guy named Sidney Crosby on it. You know what I mean? Like, and I know he was a rookie, but yeah.
Bring in the youth.
I think I'm worried they're going to build a team to be successful at the Four Nations, and this is not going to be the Four Nations. That's my fear. I also think the United States is going to do that, which is why I think look out for Sweden. But we'll make that a whole nother thing.
Well, the team, like my dark horse to watch out for is Czechia.
Yeah.
Always.
They weren't in the Four Nations, so they're going to have a huge chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. But if I'm part of the team, if I'm part of the management group building this team, I think I'm really focusing on not building a team to play when what we saw. There's not going to be fighting. Yes. But in IIHF,
it's different.
And it's different. The garbage after the whistle doesn't fly. You get penalties for that. Mm-hmm. So with that, I know we only got a few minutes before we're going to break. I don't think both Tkachuk brothers are phenomenal hockey players. A big part of their game is all that other stuff. That other stuff won't fly. Yeah. They might try it in the first game, get a bunch of penalties and go, oh, so I can't just face wash guys and grab them and do this after whistles. That's not going to work. And I know that we're talking about, I have Brad Marchand on my list, and he's going to be there. And that's a key part of his game too, but he's also very, very talented.
Yes.
So I guess that's my justification for building the team I'm building. Bring those young guys. It's a scoring. Ultimately, it's a scoring competition.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, and that's what we've seen, and Reed would talk probably better to even the World Juniors, right? That's what we've seen in the past, is they've always left off the best players.
Yeah.
And look what it's got us in the World Juniors the past 2 years, quarterfinal losses. And they finally got back to a system of being like, nope, you know what? We're going to take the best players, regardless of where they come. We're not going to pick, we got to pick 2 QMJHL players and a couple Western players and a couple OHL. Well, the coaches from WHL, let's take the WHL more players. No, take the best players that are possibly there. It's got to be the same thing in the Olympics. Take the best players. You're trying to win. You're not trying to develop. You're trying to win.
Well, even if you go back far enough and you kind of track through the players that they've left off both teams, if you've done anything like turn down Hockey Canada at any point in your career, they hold that grudge against you. But it's like, why are you holding that grudge? Like, maybe they're dealing with injury. Maybe they have other stuff going on that they don't want to commit because they can't be them like their actual selves. or maybe they just don't want to play at this time of year. Like there should never be a punishment for not playing in one tournament, and then you turn around and go, you know what? No, I don't want you. You're not a Hockey Canada guy, and that has been said so many times.
That's unofficially official. Why Suzuki has not been in any conversations, and it's like
you turned down the World Championship,
right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't have him in my top 10, but he's on my team, and I think he slots in there in any one of those spots. He could play in any line. He's one of the best centers in the world, and there's no conversation because he's turned down Hockey Canada a couple times. It's leave your pride at the door, build the best team.
Yeah, best players, best skill. Just send it. That's all you got to do.
Well, I'm excited. I know we're still quite a few months away. I'm excited for Team Canada to announce it, and then we can pick it apart and explain to everybody why they're wrong and we're right. Unfortunately, we'll be doing that for a little bit, but we are going to take a quick break. Before we go, I did want to mention that Travis is also a goalie. So everybody to have some sympathy for me. You guys have doing this with stand in front of the pucks on purpose.
Yes.
It's the best position. Okay. Leave us alone.
Yeah. Chase, when Chase feels it, when he plays net on Sundays for us, he has to look at my backside. So I apologize for that. On that note, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Steel City Sportscast.